Okay, hello everyone. Last Dharma talk of the 4G. And the 4G is went by so quickly. Of course, I'm very grateful for the support that we received so far from you personally come here, or as well as those from afar as well. So, as well as well-wishers. We are able to keep on doing this year after year because of your continued support. So thank you all very much. All right, tonight this is the last Dharma talk, so anyone who would like to give us some feedback, make comments, or ask more questions, please feel free. All right? If not, then we'll continue and learn something meaningful, like Master YongHua's teachings, instead of listening to my ramblings. Okay, questions, comments? Yes.
Hello, Master. When living beings from Wei Mountain and Lu Mountain Temple go to the Pure Land, is it possible they will meet who I formerly knew as my mother? And if so, I hope they have good things to talk about.
Will they be able to meet with your mother?
Yeah. Yes.
And to do what?
Like how I meet people here in the temple. Will they meet her, there?
Yeah.
I understand there's different grades, but will they happen to meet and, maybe become friends, or and chat about maybe me?
Right. Occasionally, they need to go to the gas station. So I'm sure, it's open for everyone in all grades. So I would think so, yes, absolutely. The nice thing about the Pure Land, Western Bliss Pure Land, is that you have these enlightened beings cultivating right next to the unenlightened beings. There's no separation, okay? So it's very useful, actually, to be able to cultivate in the same place, elbow to elbow with people who are better than you, and you don't have to worry about the COVID-19 either. Yes, so the answer is yes, absolutely. Anything else? Okay, that concludes our question and answer session. Okay. Then, if you can, feel free to ask questions at any time. Yes, go ahead. Purple.
Thank you, Master. So in the morning and evening recitation, I read of something that I can't remember the exact line, but it sounds something like I will do things to keep the Buddha in this world, something like that. So this is one of the things I don't quite understand, like what can I do to, for instance, keep Buddhas in this world? I thought the Buddha is already left this world.
Okay. And you're referring to the 10 vows of Universal Worthy Bodhisattva that we recite in the morning. Okay. And when you kneel down and you recite, and that kind of thing. And So those are the 10 practices of universal worthy Bodhisattva. It's a special teaching that my late teacher, Master YongHua, brought to this country, where we recite it, and it's extremely beneficial to recite it. Where if you hear of it, then the blessings that from your hearing alone is just incredible. Let alone we reciting it every day ourselves. Okay, so when we recite it, and the ghosts and the spirits and the heavenly beings who come to our session, morning ceremonies, they hear it. They themselves attain incredible blessings. Or if they hear of them and they repeat it like we're doing right now, the blessings are also incredible. Okay, so there's a vow where we request that the Buddha stay in the world. Okay, what does that mean? It means that we realize that the Buddha is the greatest teacher there is. If he's the longer he stays in this world, the more he can benefit living beings. So that's why we request that he stays on as long as possible. Okay, to benefit living beings. Okay, so it sounds like it's a personal attachment where we can't let go of the Buddha, and that's how late great master YongHua's disciples did. When he was dying, they did a lot of things to try to keep him around a lot longer. Okay, and he said, I'm such in great pain. It's very painful for me to breathe, for me to live. And so what they did is they use incense sticks and burn themselves to relieve their master's pain. Okay, I saw a nun whose arm right here has rows of these incense burns. Okay, they take incense sticks and burns it. Okay, to share in the pain of their teachers. Okay, because they believe, because they can't let go of their teachers. But that request that the Buddha remain in the world is based on the premise that if you have a chance to encounter the Buddha in person yourself, that is so beneficial. That when you see him, the mere sight of him will be an experience that you will never forget the rest of your life. On top of it, he will eradicate so many of your karmic obstructions to be able to see him in person. And then, furthermore, you're able to make a vow to him and kneel down and are able to make some requests. It's guaranteed that all your requests are met. So you see, for anyone to be able to personally meet with the Buddha is so beneficial that the longer it sticks around, the more living beings will benefit from it. So that's the nature of that request. Okay, and when we explain the Avatamsaka Sutra, chapter 40, a little bit later, we explain more about that. You go into much greater details on what it means as well. Okay, so that's a superficial explanation. Okay, yeah. But that in itself actually is a Dharma door in Mahayana that we practice. Okay, anyone else? Yes. We're warming up.
A Di Đà Phật, thưa thầy, những sư cô mà đốt cái tay như vậy để offer đó thì Ngài Tiến Hóa có đỡ đau hơn không thưa thầy?
Would that provide relief to Master YongHua? Probably. Would provide a little bit of relief to them, to him, because basically you're able to bear a little bit of the pain for him. So yes, it would help a little bit. But on the other hand, it helps a little bit, but then it leaves the door open for more to come and torture him as well. Okay, so it is an act of self-sacrifice, which is a good thing to do, but I don't like to do those things. Okay, it's especially for us Westerners, it comes across as a cultish, barbaric. Why would you inflict pain in yourself like that? The non-believers would frown at that. So I don't encourage doing those things. Okay, I'm afraid of pain, so I don't like it. If I don't like it, I wouldn't recommend you do it yourself. Okay. There are other things much more beneficial you can do yourself instead of inflicting pain on like that. To me, it's rather coarse. But sometimes that's all you have to offer. Anyone else? No mass? Don't be shy now. Don't feel that this is just you, because the more you ask questions, the more chances I have to embarrass myself. But once I give my answer, then I'm exposing myself to ridicule and criticism. Okay, but I welcome it because it turns out that I'm very unhappy with the state of the answers. They are provided by the Pure Land to the Pure Land questions. It's due to the fact that, as I said, these Pure Land teachers are really not knowledgeable enough to be teaching Pure Land. Pure Land is much harder to teach because it is so easy to misrepresent because it's not verifiable. Whereas when you teach Chan meditation, you cannot fake the samadhi. You cannot fake your samadhi at all. Okay? And what happens is that when you teach Chan meditation, it's easy for you to disrupt your students' practice so that you maintain their samadhi level about the same as yours. Some teachers do that, okay? Which is not a good thing to do, but that's what you can do. However, the samadhi, because Chan, the nature of Chan teaching, Chan training is to build your samadhi power, it's very difficult to beat around the bush or BS to you. Okay, samadhi level cannot be faked. Whereas in Pure Land, we talk about something somewhere else, a lot further away, and it sounds like lots of promises. So it's very hard to verify, and that's why there's a lot of misconceptions due to the fact that the popular teachers are giving explanations from books instead of their own knowledge. For example, Master YongHua, what I really like about Master YongHua, I try to emulate, is that he teaches from his personal experience. Okay, he reads it, and then he said, yeah, that is exactly true. So he verifies it, and then a lot of things he teaches us are actually based on his personal experience. Okay. Whereas most younger teachers, most low-level teachers, they don't know what they're talking about. And what they tell us is from their readings. And if you look at the sutras, the Buddhist sutras, if you think you read the sutra, you understand what the Buddhas mean, the meaning, you understand the true meaning of the Buddha's teachings, you are so deluded. If you could understand the Buddha's teaching from reading the sutras, or the Bodhisattva's teaching from reading the Shastras, why would the Buddhas need to designate patriarchs to interpret those teachings for you and to correct your mistakes? You correct your misunderstanding of the teachings. That's what patriarchs do. Okay? Patriarchs are supposed to help you patriarchs are designed, the roles of patriarchs are to provide a place for you to go and where you learn the proper Dharma, number one. That's why they're called patriarchs. Number two, the better patriarchs are the ones who take it very seriously, who try very hard to address your misunderstandings so that the perversion, the misinterpretations are corrected properly. That's why they say, I'm a patriarch, he's a patriarch. So that's what patriarchs say. What patriarchs do is proper and correct the misunderstandings. And so that's why, personally, I'm very disappointed as second patriarch because he's not doing that. Okay, we need people to make sacrifices and take a stand and say, this is what the proper Dharma is, and those teachings are improper, and so that's why I'm forced to say these things by quoting patriarchs, because there's so much misinformation about Pure Land in particular. Pure Land right now is basically Hinayana Pure Land. Everyone is so preoccupied with gaining, with their own personal gains through the Pure Land Dharma door. It's not meant to be that. Okay. So that's why feel free to ask questions, even though unless you ask questions, we will not give you answers. Yes.
This is from Charlie. Master, does getting a rebirth plaque for one's deceased parents a form of filial piety?
Yes, absolutely. The Pure Land Dharma door, okay, is one very powerful Dharma door that can help you fulfill your filial duties. Comes to mind, I recollect how the sixth patriarch, one of my idols, one of the greatest teachers in Chinese Buddhism, how he abandoned his mother in order to go to the fifth patriarch and fulfill his duties, his responsibilities as a patriarch, as the sixth patriarch. And so in doing that, he basically abandoned his mother. Okay? Now he's a patriarch, so he's different in that sense. You cannot use our standards, apply them to him, because he's a patriarch. Patriarchs are different group of superior individuals where the rules don't apply to them. That's why they're patriarchs. Okay? And furthermore, the greater patriarchs are, just out of this world as well. Okay? So So, but when you look at him, as in a Chan school, there's really not any specific tools for you, means for you to repay your parents' kindness, which is the principle or tenet of Chinese Buddhism. Chinese Mahayana is that you have to be filial to your parents. Okay? You teach filiality to your children by being filial to your parents yourself. That's how we teach filial piety, not by talking, by being filial to our own parents. Okay? And therefore, unfortunately, in Chan, you really don't have that many ways to be filial to your parents. Okay, especially if you haven't seen your Buddha nature, that's not possible for you to pay filial piety to your parents and your ancestors and so forth. Whereas the Pure Land Dharma door, that Dharma door is designed to help people who don't cultivate, who cannot cultivate. Okay, and that's the part, the others help part, that the existing Pure Land teachers don't understand. Okay, they talk about, the current teachers talk about, that's recite the Buddha's name, that's all make it to the Pure Land and not ever come back and so forth. You see, that's why I call Hinayana Pure Land, because it's all about them. It's all about self-help. Whereas the Pure Land Dharma door is actually, the bigger part of it is others' help. You find a way to get help for if you cannot do it yourself, or others cannot do it themselves. So there's help available in the Pure Land Dharma door. Okay, and the way that Master YongHua did it, where I learned it and formalized it by his Pure Land teachings, which I had to go to Canada to learn, because it's not understood here in the U.S. It's not being practiced here in the U.S. for some reason. Okay, not sure why not. Maybe they're not qualified to do those things. But in his Pure Land Dharma door, we have this tool called rebirth, tablet, rebirth plaque, where whereby you generate rebirth blessings for anyone, alive or dead. Okay, so yes, that's a long answer. The short answer is yes, absolutely. Okay, follow-up question.
This is from Zenshint. Master, when reciting the Buddha's name with beads, should we concentrate to the dantian as we used to?
If you like, you can concentrate on dantian, but you don't have to. Okay, you can simply, to simplify it for you, you can simply use your feel, use your finger, concentrate, and this is good enough. Okay, the way we train you about Chan, Pure Land actually has multiple steps. In Chan, when I teach you about Tantian, is actually an expedient for you to park your mind, anchor your mind there. But eventually, after you become enlightened, you understand what the Dantian really is. The Dantian is actually will morph as you make progress. The Dantian will keep on changing and evolving until you see what it really is. Okay? Only the us Chan people, Mahayana people, can really understand what a Dantian is. No one else, not the Taoists, no one else. Okay, so but initially, if it helped you to focus in reciting the Buddha's name to park your mind in a Dantian, you can. That is not necessary. Okay. Anything else? Yes, Green.
지금 현재 조사는 다음에 조사가 되실 분을 알아볼 수 있나요?
Do we have a practice of checking all the microphones before we get started, instead of talking to each other?
조사가 되실 분을 알아볼 수 있나요? 현재 조사께서 다음 그 조사를 이으실 분을 알아보실 수 있는지 궁금해요.
Master, how the current patriarch will be able to identify the next patriarch? Is it possible?
Well, the second patriarch has yet to identify himself. Of course, he's been designated, he's been recognized by Master YongHua as the second patriarch, second American patriarch. So it has been officially done because Master YongHua declared so. He says, "I've chosen my successor," and so it's up to him, to do whatever he's supposed to do. Because that designation has a certain level of very heavy-duty responsibilities. Of course, we know about him. A lot of us know about him. Okay, so the pressure is not from you. The pressure is from us. We basically look at him. Do your job. What are you waiting for? Okay, but so if the question is about this patriarch, then we know about him. Quite a few of us know about him. Is that what the question is about, or the third patriarch?
이대 조사께서 숨어서 안 나오신다면 3대 조사는 어떻게 이어질 수 있는지 궁금합니다.
If the second patriarch is hiding, how the third patriarch will be able to succeed?
Well, he can find what happened in the history of Chinese Buddhism. At the early stages of Chinese Chan, the Chinese Buddhism, the early patriarchs actually hid. They pretend they didn't announce themselves as patriarchs. Okay, and so they have their own reasons. So they have, I'm sure they have good reasons. I'm sure the second patriarch also has good reasons not to announce himself. Okay, so whatever he does. But I'm only making excuses for myself in that I patiently waited for 20 years since I came to Buddhism. The first 10 years was to hear of him so that I can go and learn from him. Because in Mahayana practices, we learn from patriarchs. We don't go anywhere else. I mean, I don't go anywhere else. If I know there's a patriarch, I go learn from him until he runs out of things to teach me. I move to the next teacher. That's our Mahayana style of training, of practice. So for me personally, I I was disappointed the first 10 years that I couldn't identify him. Okay, after I was able to, one day I was able to recognize him, and I said, okay, he's a patriarch, so I cannot usurp his role. So I waited patiently for him, and I told you when I first started teaching, I said, I'm no patriarch, that's a fact. So what I'm doing is filling the gap temporarily right now until the patriarch announces himself. Then I will refer you, all of you, to go to him. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what we do. Okay. But it turns out at this stage here, as I get older, and we both are getting older, and I realize after 15 years of teaching, okay, it takes about that long, or even longer, before you learn, you figure out what to do. So that's why, if I started 15 years ago, I learned so much and I changed so much. If you looked at my teaching skills, it actually has changed a lot. It has went through many phases, and we all have to do that. By the way, we learn from doing. Okay, and if this guy still hasn't announced himself, so that people can come and dump the garbage on him, it'll be too late. By the time that that he announces himself, he'll be too old, and it's too late. Okay. So basically, if he doesn't announce himself, we basically say, we don't need you. All right? So how is the next succession going to happen? That's his job. It's not our problem. My problem is, my concerns is to help you go to the Pure Land and to help you become enlightened. Okay, you wish you go to the Pure Land. I hope that you will go there with superior grade. Okay. But whatever he does to recognize the third patriarch, I'm not really interested. I'm so disappointed, frankly, that I really don't care what he does. All right? I'm fed up. I waited too long. I'm getting too old, and to be willing to wait further. If he announces himself, people will start coming to him. It will take him at least another 10 years. I know this guy. It's gonna take him at least 10 years, more likely 20 years to figure it out. By then, it's too late. I'd be retired by then, so I have no more interest in this guy. I moved on. Okay? We all get what we deserve. Yes, Orange.
Thank you, Master.
So this guy is useless to me, personally.
Thank you,
So
Master.
I don't care what he does.
How does a patriarch announce themselves? Like, is there a tweet or a YouTube video, or how would we know?
I don't know how he's going to do that, and I don't care. But what happens is that when they announce themselves, for example, Master YongHua, when I was there, there's a guy, there's an old monk. When I was a novice, he's an old monk, and he walks around like this, he has some kind of back problems. He walks around hunchback like this, and he walks around he stayed at the city of 10,000 Buddhas for a year or two, and then he got into an argument with a young abbot, and so he left. I was lucky. Once I went outside and bought some chocolate, Lindt chocolate, those $2 thing. Back then it's about $1.50. Okay, like Master Xianqi's dad likes to eat. Those rectangular Lindt that you can buy anywhere. So I went back. I went out. I was allowed to go outside. They're very strict, by the way, not like us. I let you go, and I hope you don't come back. Over there, you go out, you need to have permission. You come back, you have to report. If you overstay your outside, they kick you out and stuff like that. It's like communists. Anyway, so I somehow brought back this chocolate and give it to him. And he, what he did? He said, I give to him personally. Okay, I didn't want to give it to the office. Give it to him. So he took that chocolate and put it on the altar in the Tathagata monastery where the men stayed, and then he put it up there for very quickly and ate it himself. Why do I remember? Later on, something like 10 years later, a Vietnamese spy, I know them. Not these ones. A Vietnamese spy called me and said, you remember that monk? I said, oh, of course, I remember him. There's only one monk who walks around with, like a hunchback on Notre Dame. And he says, he now announces himself as a Wei-Yang patriarch. So he has his disciple, a nun, a Chinese nun. He's Chinese, by the way. And a Chinese nun going around and telling people to support him because he's a Wei-Yang patriarch. Okay? So I said, no way. I said, it's possible. The guy's a hunchback. How could he be a patriarch? So I gave that guy, that spy, a hard time. I said, no, you have to stop gossiping like this. And then that night I meditated because I was meditating by myself, doing Chan by myself. And I meditated and I said, oh my God, he's really a Wei-Yang patriarch. Low level, but he's a Wei-Yang patriarch. I said, wow, I'm lucky I offer something to a patriarch. So 10 years later, at that time, he's around his 60s, so 10 years later, he's around his 70s, so I think he went cuckoo something and then announced himself as a patriarch. If you're a patriarch, if I'm a patriarch, I wish I were a patriarch, trust me. Life would be so much easier. Being obscure and poor and slandered left and right is not a fun thing to do. But the guy must be went cuckoo something because you don't allow your disciple to go around telling people you're a patriarch. What kind of patriarch are you? Seriously, I would renounce that disciple and say, you dare tell people I am a patriarch? You're no longer my disciple. What kind of patriarch am I if I allow you to tell people that I'm a patriarch? Okay, so anyway, so he's actually a mid-level guy. He couldn't do much anyway. Question from JMT.
Hello. Hi.
We can hear you.
Oh, thank you. I have a question. Before, Master mentioned that the medicine Buddha Dharma is not very well applied nowadays in anywhere. But in Korea, when I go to other temples, I see lots of medicine Buddha statue and people read medicine sutras. It's very common practice. They recite the sutra for medicine Buddha as well. So if we encourage them to recite the medicine Buddha's name to those people who hasn't come to the temple yet, would that still help them?
Absolutely.
Even though they can develop the samadhi power, would that still make any difference for them?
What's the question again? Can they develop
Even though
samadhi power?
they don't have chance to develop their samadhi power effectively, just reciting the Buddha's name alone, would that help them still?
Absolutely. It helps to have more matchsticks because someday you use it. Okay? The point I'm trying to make is that our practice is slightly different from the other temples only because I'm impatient. I'm getting too old and too impatient. I can't wait to retire. In where I came from, in Vietnam, I'm expected to retire when I'm 60. Okay, this is what we do. We like to retire when we're 60 and take it easy. Okay. But here in the U.S., everyone works so hard, and the retirement age is like 67 before you get your full retirement benefits nowadays. So I'm willing to wait until I'm 67. Well, after that, I can't wait to retire. So my point here is that I feel guilty for all the support I received the last 15 years. I came from nothing. I got nothing. And the Dharma we developed over the last 15 years, including Pure Land Dharma doors, those various things we do, arose from your needs. You came to me and you have these needs. Your best friend just went into a car accident. He's totally stoned, and his family doesn't believe in the religions at all. And you said, if your Pure Land Dharma door is any good, this is the best friend I have. Can you do something for him? I said, well, I don't know. Let me try. So, those early days, the guy was stoned. So he got in the car accident. He died. So I was stupid. I didn't understand. So you know what I did? I had to use medicine Master Buddha Dharma to unstone him. Okay, just to do a 49-day service. I said, this is so difficult. Okay, so I had to unstone this guy first. So I did the medicine Master Buddha thing to unstone him. And after that, I had to apply the rebirth thing and then convince him to go to the Pure Land. It was so much work. And after I finished, I said, he made it. The guy said, oh, thank you. Goodbye. Disappeared. So I did, so much work for so little and for one thank you. But however, my point here is that our mindset, I hope to drill this into my disciples. We try our best, okay? When we ask for help, we try our best. We don't hold back, yeah. And so over the years, because of that, people came and at first I remember. When I first started teaching Pure Land, I went to the Vietnamese temple in San Jose, and there's a kid who has cancer. Okay, so they went to a famous Vietnamese master, ex-disciple for Master YongHua, and he would organize 10,000 people to recite the Great Compassion mantra to relieve him. He doesn't recite it, but he asked 10,000 people to recite it. So I said, I can't do this to people, because if these people, when they decide for the cancer thing here, they're going to get in trouble themselves. And the guy cannot protect them. I know that. I knew that. So, see, these things, our Dharma is evolved from the needs from real people. Okay? And that's how, through the years, we understood what the medicine master Buddha Dharma can do. Okay? So once I understood those things over the years, my interest was to develop people, help people develop the skills to be able to do it themselves, meaning the next generation, your generation. You should be able to learn to take care of yourself through that medicine master Buddha Dharma. If not, the third generation, the Xian disciples, should be able to do that instead of hiding in my shadow. Okay? And just go to, leave it to the third generation of disciples to go to the temple and only, pay some money and get the plaque on the wall, and that's it, and pray that somehow it works. Okay, I'm not like that. If you're like that, then it's Chinese system. Okay, this is the early days of Mahayana in the West, so we need to deliver ourselves to increase the faith. Okay? The Asians, they have the system where if you have sicknesses, you go to the temple in Korea or in Vietnam or China or Taiwan and so forth, and you get a medicine master Buddha plaque. I saw it everywhere. I see it everywhere as well. And I look at them and I say, well, it's more like a prayer in churches nowadays instead of what it's supposed to do. Okay, so to me, the existing medicine master Buddha services, if you will, out there are basically prayers. You pray in hope that works. You pray in hope that God listens to you. So how different are we from Catholicism? Over there, they say, I pray to God, I hope God listens to me and I allow my football team to win today. And 50% of the time, they lose. Okay? And they still pray because that's the only thing they have. Okay? My master did something better. He brought the Mahayana to our part of the world, and brought the Chinese Dharma called Medicine Master Buddha Dharma. And now, the people his disciples, my generation, we have some Kung Fu ourselves. So, of course, the blessings we generate are far better than our colleagues. That's a fact, okay? But the problem is that my master really never really explained the medicine master Buddha Dharma to them, to my generation. So when time for me, it's my turn to use it, I have to explain to you why you need to use it. So over the years, we developed this deeper understanding of what it does through results, okay? And so my attitude is that I hope that the third generation of Xian disciples will be more knowledgeable and be more competent, okay? Because for this medicine master Buddha Dharma to become stronger, we need two things. Number one, more of the Xian disciples out there who are able to recognize your problems and help you address those problems with, let's say, the various Dharma doors. And number two, they themselves will be able to do it instead of depend on me. Okay? So to say that So my point about the medicine master Buddha, Dharma being not available is in the sense of, it's true. In Vietnam, for example, the Vietnamese were very result-oriented, especially in a communist culture nowadays. Unless you show results, they don't buy into it. And so the Vietnamese don't have the medicine master Buddha, Dharma anymore because they don't show results. You come to the temple and you ask for help for this, for that. You really are basically like might as well go to church and do some prayers. It's no difference. Then that's why it's disappearing. No one believes it anymore. So apparently, according to Korea, the Koreans still do it. I suspect, given I recognize the level of the Sunims there, it's not that much different, okay, from the Chinese system, because I think what I like about Korean Buddhism is it has a very strong tradition. The weak ones left and switched to Catholicism, okay? For good reason, because if you only offer prayers, then they might as well switch. They can switch back and forth. You know, if it works for them to go to a church, by all means go to a church. I have no problems. It works for you to go to church and get what you want, what you need. I love to go to churches because I love the choirs. Okay, I love the architecture. Okay, I think Buddhist temples architecture sucks. I love the church's architecture. Now, that's a monument to God. And our Buddha is so much better. Why can't we have better monuments to Buddhas? But we don't, okay? So I loved certain things about the churches that I find remarkable. The operas, their praise to God are just magnificent. The music is so outstanding, okay? Those things, okay? And I have no problems in the future. Again, one of the projects I have when I retire is, if you want, you guys want to go into music, and the arts and so forth, we should support you as well, because that's the next level that we can provide of services we can provide to the people who are looking for prayers and so that they have another option besides going to churches. But I don't feel that the Korean medicine master Buddha blessings are not that good, okay? But you have to give credit to the Koreans for that strong tradition. They believe in the Buddha Dharma, and that's why I'm very impressed by that, okay? They have a very strong tradition, and they're very conservative, and so that's why I have very high hopes that we'll be able to strengthen and turn Korea into one major anchor of Mahayana in the world. Okay? It's the people, okay? We look for people with potential. We look for, because I don't have time. I don't have much time left. So I need people with potential we can train very quickly so that they can go out there and deliver Mahayana benefits, not just prayer, not just talks, not just dreaming. Okay? All right. Yes, Orange.
스님 질문 드립니다. 삼매 상태에서 약사주를 독송했는데 그것은 정토에 가는데 도움이 되는지 여쭙고 싶습니다. 나무 보체파티 비샤서 지루비루. Sorry.
I entered this samadhi and I recited Medicine Master mantra. Do you think that will help me?
With what?
Will it be help me to go to Pure Land?
Yes. Part of the Medicine Master Buddha blessings is Pure Land, rebirth to the Pure Land. So it will help you. Okay? Absolutely. But in our temple, we have a more specific Dharma door where you actually have that's dedicated to help you go to the Pure Land. Okay? Medicine Master Buddha blessings is well-rounded, all around. Okay? Including rebirth to the Pure Land, but it also includes getting a job, finding love, having children, sicknesses, accidental deaths, and so forth. So many types of blessings, okay, that you need. So rebirth of the Pure Land is not a priority. Okay, but it would help you. Yes, question from JMT.
Hello. So, from the question earlier, I think I wasn't articulate enough. So, when I saw all these medicine Buddha statues and people practice medicine Dharma in Korea, as you mentioned, it's more like prayer. But if we encourage people to recite medicine Buddha's name without them coming here, would it be different or the same? If we, at JMT, if the cultivators, the left-on people and lay people increase the samadhi power and encourage people to recite the medicine Buddha's name, those that are not here, would that make a difference for them?
Of course, it makes a difference for them
yet?
because you taught them.
Huh? Sorry?
It will make a difference because you teach them. When you transmit, you teach them. When you teach people something, you guys don't realize it. Whoever teaches you matters. Okay, it's not the same. You go, it's not like, look at it this way. It's like you take an algebra class from a junior college here in the US versus a university in US versus a top 5 university. It's the same class. It's also called Algebra 101, but it's not the same, clearly, because the teacher is different, and therefore you learn different. So the mere fact that you go, or the people who pick up a book, okay, and read it and they do it, is different from they coming to the temple or contacting you and say, I have this problem. My daughter is morose. She's often depressed, and the medication is not helping anymore. And you say, okay, then try the medicine master. So actually, you are indirectly helping as well. So it makes a huge difference. Okay, I give you an example. We transmit to you the hands and eyes as a mantra, the tantric dharma. Okay? When that's done, when you practice tantras, you need to have a transmission from a teacher to the pupil. It's a better form of learning instead of picking it up from the internet, from a book. Okay? It's better to have a transmission. In particular, and I know when I talk about hands and eyes, we have a lot of requests for people to say, I want to learn hands and eyes and so forth. The materials are available online. It's quite inaccurate. Okay, you feel free to learn from that. That's fine. But where I came from, the tantric dharmas in any Dharma in general, but in particular Tantric Dharmas, you need to have transmission. So when we transmit right there, what happens to you, we transmit the Dharma to you, is very different from you learning from, let's say, from the internet materials or from a book. And a lot of people are doing that nowadays. They pick up the materials and practice on their own, okay? There's a huge difference because when we transmit it to you, we are actually providing protection for you, okay? You, when it comes to the mantra practices such as the 42 hands and eyes or the medicine master, mantra itself, any mantra in general, you want protection. Okay? Without protections, very difficult for you to improve. So if these people learn from, this temple or that temple from a book, it's not the same as coming to us and receive transmission. For example, more specifically, nowadays, over in my master's temples, they transmit the hands and eyes by saying that it's from Master YongHua, okay? They play this recording and so forth. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, okay? I don't know the exact arrangements. But that transmission right there, okay, is different from our transmission. The hands and eyes I transmit to you comes from me, not from Master YongHua. Okay? So the protection is different. And that's why I hope you become enlightened quickly so that I can claim that my protection is better. Okay? So it's not the same. Where you learn makes a huge difference. Okay? Q&A.
Master, the mid-level patriarch you mentioned, the Chinese patriarch, is the name Venerable.
What happened to you? I can't hear you, and you sound so hesitant. It sounds like, I'm not sure I want to ask you a question. Speak like a woman.
The Chinese Wei Yang patriarch master you just mentioned, is his name the Venerable Hua Lai?
Would you like some more time to think about the question before you ask? Okay, that switch to Jewel Mountain Temple had been cut off.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
저는 승화입니다.
저는?
제 질문은
Master, he is the engineer. The uncle came before. That guy, you are here.
Oh, the bipolar pharmacist. Yes.
몰랐는데. 제 질문은 지금 제가 괜찮은지, 저는 괜찮다고 생각하는데 다른 사람이 봤을 때는 안 괜찮아 보인다고 할 때, 그때 제 상태를 파악할 수 있는 방법은 계속 앉는 것밖에 없나요?
Sounds serious. Is he still alive?
Hi, I am Sungwa. My question is, if I'm okay, sometimes I think I'm okay, but others said I'm not okay. So to see my state, do I need to just sit? To see my condition, do I just sit?
Okay. Okay as opposed to crazy? Sorry, I don't speak the language. That's why it's a cultural and language barriers here. Yeah, don't worry. If you have no problem, it's nothing to worry about. You know, don't listen to others. Whatever they say is, it's just whatever they say. It's all a lot of talk. To me, you shouldn't be paranoid. If you feel you have a problem, then look into it and try to fix it. If you have no problem, there's nothing to talk about. It just because other people say differently doesn't mean that they're right. You yourself should know. Okay? If you feel that you're normal, but others feel you're cuckoo, don't talk to them anymore. Until you feel cuckoo yourself, then you talk to them. You see? Don't worry, it's okay. You know, I don't have a problem. You know, if it doesn't bother you, it's not a problem. Okay, a lot of times, especially when it comes down to am I okay or not, you go and see like Bosco, who said, "Let me put to you." Bosco is our resident director of crazy people therapist. He works for some kind of state of California thing, okay? And he's the director, mind you. And he's a little bit cuckoo himself. We don't tell him. We treat him like a normal person. And Bosco is immediately is typing, say, "Watch it, I'm listening." So it's okay. It's not a big deal. If you feel that you're normal, so do I. Who am I to tell you otherwise? But when you feel that you need some help, then maybe we can offer it. That's all. Don't be paranoid. If I don't pay attention to what people say about me anyway. So I go deaf. Yes, JMT.
He just told me that whatever he wanted to say didn't convey properly because the cultural language barrier. So what happened was he told me when he sat here in full lotus, since the Dharma talk started, he thought that he was like fine, but then because after he sat, he felt so much better. He realized he wasn't, in the best condition. So his question was, is the sitting the only way to be able to monitor your condition, or is there any other way to monitor the condition he has?
Yes, there's another way. Shave your head. It's a real strong condition. You will find out it's because it's a 24-hour thing, it's not just half-hour sit. Listen, all joking aside, if he's worried about, that he's about his mental conditions, go see a therapist, and they will be so happy to put him through a barrage of tests and so forth. Okay, and after you listen to all that, don't believe any of it. But at least you have some opinions. Okay, and keep meditating. Okay, it would help. Meditate at the temple, meditate at home. I highly recommend that all of you meditate. And in his case, for example, recite the Buddha's name. Okay, it's very, very helpful. Okay, that skill right there, reciting Buddha's name, can help you with your brighten your mind. Yeah. Okay, so And unless you have some real issues, then don't worry about it. Just try and experiment. That's all. Yes, there's some questions here. I think one right here. Yes, red.
Master, if we were to play the record of recitation from any of ours, would we receive the blessing and protection as well within that vicinity, like Medicine Master Buddha's name?
Would you what?
If we were to play the recording, audio or something, within that vicinity, do we, when we listen to that, do we plant the seed of Medicine Master Buddhas as well?
Absolutely. This is why we need to re-record our mantras. Now we should have a chorus of the Xian recitation. Huh? It'd be so cool. Huh? So we have the recitation called Xian recitation. If you want a name for the way that I taught you how to recite the Buddha's name in your spare time, okay? When you are going to the cafeteria, when you're going to your coffee shop, that's called cool recitation. Okay, that's called cool recitation. Kool. Because eventually you know what it means. Okay. Anyway, absolutely. I think it's a good project. I think I would leave it to one of you lay people or one of you Xian people to run that project where we actually, I would like a group of you to recite those mantras and these Great Compassion mantra, Medicine Master Buddha mantra, Rebirth mantra, Shrangma mantra, and so forth. Okay, it would be a very, very good thing. Because when you do that, when you play that, you actually receive the same benefits as those people who reside. Okay, but that's external help. Ultimately, you want to learn to do it yourself. Okay, but it doesn't hurt to play those things. All right? Yes, internet. Oh, I have a question here, orange first.
Thank you, Master.
There's so many of you. It's just like when the last night, you say, oh, last chance, and everyone comes like, last call, we're closing. In the U.S., you don't know about that. In the U.S., we close at 2 a.m. here, the bars. So around 2 a.m., the bartender says, last call. So everyone orders the last drink before they go home. Yes, last call, orange.
Thank you, Master. Two comments. Number one, for the Hanguk Saram in Jewel Mountain Temple.
Hanguk. You see, the wife has been busy teaching him Korean. Hanguk. Hanguk is Korean language, right? Huh? Right? Hanguk is Korean language.
Yeah. I wanted to
the sound, the pronunciation correct, isn't it? It's correct, yes? Okay, very good. Impressive.
Zhang, zhang, zhang.
Zhang, zhang, zhang. What does it mean again?
Like, good, good.
Good, good. Chum, chum, chum. Okay.
I wanted to share with him that I've been cultivating now under you, Master, for a little over 7 years now.
Please don't remind us.
And during that time, there has been no better gauge for my mental health than when I meditate. So to encourage him to keep doing that, it's been the number one thing that's helped me.
Absolutely. Very good. Thank you.
My second comment, though, Master, especially for people who are watching on the internet, you can't see here in Lu Mountain Temple, but there's a lot of plaques on the wall. There's both the Pure Land rebirth plaques and the Medicine Master plaques. I happen to have both of those.
And it's one for all, something like that. Yeah, you going in that direction?
Well, since you mentioned sales, Master, I wanted to offer my testimonial because when I first started coming to Wu Mountain, you know, my purpose for coming was to have better relationships with people. I found myself at work having challenges that would repeat themselves in cycles. After some time, and as my belief grew stronger and I took refuge in the Triple Jewel, I learned about the Medicine Master plaque. One of the Sangha educated me. And so I chose to invest in a plaque. And I wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to do that because since doing that, I know I don't have a good understanding of the Medicine Master, Buddha, or the benefits, but my experience has been my career has progressed exponentially. During the pandemic, I lost my job suddenly and was hired again rapidly. And I have been having tremendous blessings and progression in both my personal and professional life that I think it's a combination of things, but I just wanted to share about my experience having a Medicine Master Buddha plaque and ask if you can speak maybe a little bit more accurately about what that is. Thank you, Master.
Okay, very good. Thank you for sharing. It turns out for some reason, historically, the last 15 years, the Medicine Master Buddha blessings seems to be very helpful to a lot of people with their careers. Okay, people who look for jobs and so forth. This gentleman is interesting in that he really doesn't quite know. He's very eloquent, very suave, but he doesn't know how to work with people. He doesn't know, from my perspective, he doesn't quite know how to relate to people professionally. And so over the years, I saw him become a supervisor, manager at a big entertainment company, one of very highly regarded entertainment company, and I encouraged him to go there because I felt as if they have very good management structure there, and so he struggled a lot going there, and he struggled a lot, but he hung in there for quite a few years. Yeah, and that poor company lost so much money investing in him, and he left. And now he's going over and he's learning how to work better with people. Okay, so that's actually it's my personal bias. I'm an immigrant. I will forever be grateful to this country for having given me so much as a person and as a monk as well. This country is so generous in that I came here hoping to join and learn about business management and be an executive I was exposed to that. I had some training and experience doing that, and then so my bias has always been to pay back, okay, by contributing to the country. Our ethos is in Buddhism is to be grateful for the kindness we received, and what's better way to be grateful than try to pay back, okay? And the way I pay back is by contributing, by doing things that hasn't been done before, by raising the bar, by trying my best in everything I do. And I try to share that, instill that in the third generation of Mahayana disciples. So I'm very pleased that over the years, many people who came to us, whether as disciples or as non-disciples, somehow the Medicine Master Buddha blessings helped them with their careers, quite a few of them. So I'm very pleased with that at all levels, okay? And to me, that's one of the basic things. You know, if you want to be Buddhist, the first thing you do is take care of your family, take care of your parents, okay? And so you need a good job, and you need to contribute, okay? And that's why I try to emphasize to all of you, as long as we get paid, we need to give our best and to our bosses and to our companies, okay? That's our ethos, okay? We don't worry about whether we are rewarded enough. The fact that we're doing good, we're trying our best, is good enough for us, okay? And that's why I share with you, we help with the COVID and stuff like that. Whether people believe or not, doesn't matter. If we are able to do some good for real, then it's our blessings. Who cares if people believe or buy into it? If we do the right things and we really are able to provide benefits, then that's our blessings. That's ours to keep. Okay, ours to use in the future. And that's why there's no substitute for trying your best and trying to improve so that you can produce more and more and more. Okay? But yeah, that seems to be a trend. I hope it continues. Okay? This is too much talk that, you know, we want to do, we this and we that, but to me, it's about delivery. Okay, where it came from. You deliver first, and then maybe you talk a little bit about it. Okay? But you need to deliver first. So Mahayana in your generation, my generation as well, we need to deliver. We need to deliver more than just what my Chinese teacher brought to this country. I want to deliver more than just that. Okay, for my generation, and if we get people who are willing to cooperate in that spirit, we will. If they don't cooperate and they're too content staying within their own cocoons, so be it. We don't care. We do our things. But the bottom line is that's contribute. Okay. There's plenty of work to do. So I hope you go to work and contribute, give your best, give your all to your company. Whether you're a politician, whether you are a journalist, or whether you're a homemaker, give your best, okay? I'm very pleased. You know, it's the little things that make me feel so good when I come to the temple. You know, I'm so happy that now at this stage, you know, you are working hard. You buy into this ethos of applying yourself and becoming more skilled so that you can contribute more. You become healthier, become younger, better looking, That matters. Beauty is important to me. Okay? What is life when there's no beauty? Okay, so anyway, so we do those things, and so I'm so pleased to see how my disciples, instead of fighting each other like they used to a couple of years ago, now they're working together, and they know their ranges, and they're working, and they're building off each other and carving having each other's backs. Okay, and so now we divide our workload, and we're able to bring you these services that are helpful to you, and to the point where it's not talk. I come here, for example, and I watch children. By the way, this is my tricks. You can talk all you want, okay? But the children, for example, you don't see it here. Can you see it here? Okay, there's a kid right there in the center of Buddha Hall. Okay, of course, look at her. She's not scared at all. Notice that. Okay, she's very comfortable. That's what I gauge. Okay, the spirit of your practice. Okay, you're not judgmental. Okay, you are kind, and that's why the children, they come, they like it, they're comfortable, they like to hang around here. Okay, and later, when for this particular girl here, it's a funny thing during the Great Transference. You know where she hangs out, and it scares her parents, the heck out of her parents and her grandparents. Okay, he hangs out at the center, the epicenter of the Buddha Hall, right in front of me, next to the old monk, and next to the front row there. So right there in the middle. Okay, that's where she feels most comfortable, most happy. Okay, so when you go to the temple, when I come to the temple, I look at who the children are drawn to, where they hang out, and their state of mind. And I'm very pleased to see how comfortable, how happy, how happy the children are when they come to the temple. That's you. That's your work. Okay? Yeah. It's very good. All right. Question? Yes. Internet.
Questions.
So many questions. Okay.
This is from Charlie. Master, would you please give some pointers on how to develop patience and perseverance in the spiritual path?
Okay. The way to do that is, I would, if you're serious about that, you should talk to someone from a temple and receive some help to meditate. That's a foundation. Okay, if you can meditate and you learn to sit in full lotus, that's a secret. That's our base. That's our foundation. Okay, the pain, the leg pains, and discomfort actually are helping you increase your patience. Okay, and you will see that effect immediately. Very quickly, the more pain you endure, the more discomfort you endure through your full lotus training, the more quickly your family, your co-worker will notice that you become more patient. Okay? Yes?
Who is the Filipino guy that used to come to the temple?
Okay. So?
Okay. Next question.
Next.
This is from Tianguo.
You have to work for it. I'm sorry, you should know by now that we don't talk a lot. I talk, but I only tell you things after you deserve it. So that's why for a lot of people, I just observe you. I don't say anything. Okay? But if you put in the work, then I will start paying attention to you. If you don't, then I'd be glad to keep on talking and talking and talking. Yes?
This is from Tianguo. Master, when you helped the friend to the Pure Land, did it use up the blessings of the person who asked you for help, asked you to help?
Does it use up blessings? I hope not. It uses up my blessings, that's for sure. It has to come from somewhere. Huh? Think about it. How much does it cost for you to buy a ticket on these space travel companies? Huh? The guy, I heard a Russian billionaire paying how much? $2 million, okay, to fly to the space station or something like that, and down. Okay, go up there and down. That's walking distance. If you compare that versus going to the Pure Land, okay, not even a marathon, okay. So, and that cost him $2 million. And for you to go to the Pure Land, ooh la la, that requires a lot more blessings. It's got to come from somewhere. Okay? So either it comes from me or from your mother, who loves you dearly. Yes. Think about it. You know, just let's be real. Okay? Just to go there. How are you going to go there? You must have some kind of enough blessings to go there. And physically, you know, you must have a certain amount of wealth before you can go up to the space station, let alone go to the Pure Land. Okay? And still, some of the white privileged and people still ask for sales. Yes, go ahead.
The next question is from Christopher from Gold Forest. Master, how do we request to learn the 42 hands and eyes from you? How do we know if we are qualified for the transmission?
If you're good looking, then you qualify. But after you practice and you don't become more patient, even better looking, then we take it back from you. There's some conditions, you know. In fact, it's funny because I saw how some people claim that they transmit to you and take it back from you. We don't do that unless you disobey the doctrines, that is to abuse the Dharma. The reason we take it back from you is because we want to stop you from hurting yourself. Okay? So for example, the people who left us already, okay, they automatically, their rights are revoked, meaning they have no more protection. So we're no longer responsible for their actions, what they do with it. You can try to steal all you want from me, but without protection, it's nothing you can do. And you steal the Dharma from us, you go to the hells for sure. And that's your problem. We're not afraid. You want to steal? Feel free to steal. But I don't recommend it. Okay? Yeah. And especially if you don't have transmission, by all means, don't practice. You're doing you're only harming yourself. Okay? So in general, we should have a procedure where if the abbot or the abbess of the temple likes you and feels that you are ready, then we will give you the transmission. Okay? I'm actually easygoing because I'm not worried about you stealing or anything. I'm more worried about you getting in trouble. And I feel that in general, those of you who are able to come regularly are qualified because we put you through a lot of tests. That after a while, if you find that in your heart that you want to come to the temple regularly, then we want to give it to you in order to help you. Okay? It's beneficial. This is one of the treasures that we have and that we give away for free. Okay? Take advantage of it. Okay? So in his case, for example, I think we should give him transmission. Well, I thought didn't he receive transmission from the other side of the tracks? Probably not, huh? Anyway, ours is better. All right, anyone else? Yes. Second question for the evening. He threatened me, he said, I'm going to ask a lot of questions tonight. Red.
Okay, thank you, Master. I usually don't ask any, so it's a lot in my standard. So I've read about Pure Land patriarchs. Some of them, they would write, for instance, the Emitofuo, the name, on busy streets or tourist spots. Some also give children money to recite, to kind of get people familiar with, I guess.
What? They give money?
Yes, to children for recitation.
Sintong, can we do it? Let's do a GoFundMe thing. Yes.
So I think it's possible, for instance, for me to do something on the internet that tries to basically propagate this Buddha's name. But I'm wondering, is it something that requires the patriarchs, not the level of knowledge and enlightenment that patriarchs have to do these things, although it seems simple?
Okay. The patriarchs have their own reasons, and if they give, this particular patriarch gave money for people to recite the Buddha's name, it probably works at the time only. It doesn't apply to us. Okay. Definitely. We are in the process. I've been ordered to start teaching Pure Land Dharma Door. So we are actually in a process of propagating more and more. Okay, and as usual, we are learning on how to do it better. Okay, and we're still learning, so we get better and better. So basically, we would like to do more Pure Land practices, okay? Build more momentum for that, because Pure Land primarily is the Dharma of faith, okay? And we need to be respectful of the faith that the other Pure Land masters have been able to generate so far. Asian masters in particular, whether it's Japanese, Chinese, and Taiwanese, and so forth. It's a good thing. You have to give them credit for that. Okay, they've been able to generate the faith in a lot of people. That's wonderful. But that faith there I would categorize as blind faith. Okay, faith in Buddhism is not blind, and especially in this Dharma ending age, faith should be tempered with results. Meaning that my approach is to increase faith by results. Whether you recite the Buddha's name and your head clears up, okay, your energy increases, okay, that's result right there. So if that's my approach in propagating anything, whether it's jhana or anything, we increase faith by producing results, by helping you produce better results for yourself. So that's why it comes naturally that if you practice, if you follow instructions, you see results yourself. So this gentleman in Korea who says, I came to the temple and I thought I was fine until I meditate and I see how my head clears up. That's results right there. Okay, so his faith increased a little bit. That's where he asked a question. So now we tell him more to do, how to get more results. So our instruction will help them get better results. So the faith increases. Okay, that's all. Okay, that's all. That's by itself. That's how I see it. I want to have that kind of standard for Mahayana in this Dharma ending age to counteract this blind faith. Like especially in Pure Land Buddhism, where you have these old people who says, if you are not saying the same thing as my teacher, then you're wrong. I don't believe you. And that's to me, it works fine for the older generation. The young generation, it's not healthy state of mind. Okay. Older people, maybe they're too tired to look for another teacher or keep on making adjustments. Okay, but to me, that's doesn't matter how old and young you are. This is a continual self-improvement process. You keep improving yourself and get better and better, and that's what's the fun of cultivation. It's fun of reciting Buddha's name is that you get better, you feel better, and you become healthier, not worse. Okay? So you get wiser and become a more pleasant person, a kinder person, more compassionate person. That's what this is about. So as long as we're doing that, I'm not worried about how many people believe or don't believe us. It's the proper way to go about it. Okay? Whether we become famous or become popular, it's not up to us. I will tell you this. We do all this without trying to become more popular, without trying to make more money. Okay? Because that defeats all the purpose. The purpose of all of us doing this is to benefit everyone. Okay? So you do it with the proper way, the proper foundation, with the proper Dharma. Okay? Not to serve ourselves. Doesn't matter what people say about us. We just do the right things. Okay? And you yourself speak the loudest on what we are about. Okay? When I first started 15 years ago, I'd be hard pressed to have so many people, sit listening to my sales pitch. Okay, I remember people like Chiu Chow people, they walk in there and said, you're too young. You don't know what you're talking about. They walk out. And that's typical, okay? Or they came from my master's temple, 5, 6 of them. They said, oh, I heard about you, who's ex-disciple, a reject from us. See what you're talking about. And they sit for half an hour. And I saw them, I look at them and said, wow, let me try to impress them. Let me see, speak Dharma, real Dharma to them. Okay? And they walked out half an hour later anyway. So very quickly I learned to stop trying to impress people. Okay? Yeah, we're just ourselves. And deliver instead of talking and talking and talking. Okay? So understand that. I really appreciate the fact many of you wish to help share this, spread this. We spread this, we've been doing that for a long, long time. It started with the white gentleman there who came and he even though we didn't have a lot of money, we put money into buying internet, buying storage, online, and then back then we got a license to do premiere. Okay, it cost us an arm and a leg. Okay, I was balking and said, what? $300? That's too much. Can I get a discount? But the point here is that we started doing that because I wanted to add more Mahayana materials online. So we started 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Again, we continue to invest. In fact, that the fancy things we have right now, where we have inter-temple, where we speak Dharma here, and San Jose people can ask questions, and Korea, which is thousands of miles away, can talk to us. We have translation, all this. It's an ongoing process, investing so that we make the Dharma available to everyone. Okay, yeah. So we may be small, we may be poor, but we'll be very big in heart and big in aspirations in making the Dharma available. Okay, and this is typical of Master Shenhua. I'm not claiming I'm equating myself to him. I'm just saying that I look at my late teacher, even though I didn't learn much from him, but I watch his life. I have the advantages of watching what he did, what he accomplished, what his disciples accomplished, and I can see the difference. Okay, in that there's a huge difference in that. So what we're doing is consistent with the spirit of the Mahayana he brought to this country. We provide service. We improve ourselves. That's all. It's not about us. It's about helping others. That's part of the fun. Go ahead, JMT.
네, 스님 감사합니다. 제가 아이들과 함께 3박 4일 예정으로 불치를 참석을 하려고 했는데 아이들이 절에 있으니까 이유는 모르겠지만 너무 좋다고 하룻밤 더 자자고 해서 다행히 대회양까지 마치고 집으로 돌아갈 수 있게 되었고요.
Thank you, Master. Originally, my plan was staying at Jewel Mountain Temple for 3 nights and 4 days. I brought my children, but they really liked it so much, and then they asked me to stay one more night.
That's it?
And I was able to do the great transference.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else have something magnificent or impressive to say. I'm kidding. I'm glad that your children enjoy themselves. That's important. By the way, I'm learning as well. I started when I first became a monk, I hated children. And you know what happened? My master arranged for me to teach at the high school. And within months, I became the most sought after teacher at the high school. That's how bad it was. But I hated it. But now that you bring your children to the temple, I see how cute they are. I wish I had more children myself. So you all should get 4, okay? Quota. If you married, think about 4. 4 kids. Yes, Orange.
Master, I just would like to share a personal story. I started coming to the temple 10 years ago. And at that time, my husband was really against me coming. He is a really distrust religion. Anybody who has faith, he's very cynical. He thinks churches and religions are just going to try and get you for your money, and that there was no good in it. So in my beginning, coming here, I couldn't come very often. And Master would tell us, you just have to kind of bear it and suffer through it. And maybe with time, So here it is now 10 years later. And
did I tell you, pray to the Lord?
Not quite, no. But I said, well, I'm going to try and get, he has a lot of health problems. So I said, I'll try and get him, I'll get him a Medicine Master plaque. I went and got him a rebirth plaque, and et cetera, et cetera. And then comes around this last Memorial Day, and we went and got something to eat because he knew I was going to come to the temple later. And he said to me,
typical woman for you. Our women, you can't stop them.
He said to me, so you really believe in this? I said, yeah, I really do. And he said, you really think there's this Pure Land? How do you know there's a Pure Land? So did anyone come back from Pure Land? And, I said, oh, God, here we go. Yeah, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they told us about Pure Land, and you have to have faith. And he goes, and so you really believe it? I go, yeah, I really do. And then he said something so interesting. He said, so would they ever take a person like me?
Sounds like a nice place, too.
And I said, I'll put a good word in for you. So I think that's a success story, Master.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that. What happens is, this is what I see in each and every person who manages to stick around. Okay, it's very tough to stick around. Okay, to keep on coming, because we really are not, in the early days in particular, our people are kind of rude. They're constantly in a bad mood. It rhymes, right? And they're brooding. and they're scary. I knew that my early days at Blue Mountain Temple. My Lefum disciples were scary. And actually, they're so scary. I was hoping they would quit soon, so that I could close the temple and go to the mountain. Honestly, I was waiting for them to leave. So after they drove everyone away, only few kept coming. The ones that kept coming are now shaved, have the head shaved. But be it as it may. But the point is that I was waiting. I would let them drive them away and the customers away because they're so rude. They're so afflicted. You know, and somehow it was not meant to be. I couldn't go to the mountain as I was plotting to do, scheming to do. But over the years, the people who survived these tests actually became more patient. And it's the same thing with that lady there, that who came and she asked to talk to me, and as soon as she sat down, and she looked at me and said, "Thank you for giving me a chance to talk to you," and she cried her heart out, and I said, "Kleenex, Kleenex." So she cried for 15 minutes, you know. And speaking of pent-up suffering, you know. But if you keep on coming, this is one thing that happens. You improve. And when that happens, your son notices, your husband notices. So what can be more eloquent in your speaking of Mahayana by becoming the Mahayana person you're supposed to be, evolving in that direction, become more patient, more compassionate, kinder. Okay? So that's why people believe you. They don't necessarily believe me. So for me to say, I hope I become famous, I know that's not going to happen. You will become famous yourself because you're famous at home. Yes, some of your family members still mock you and make fun of you. But the close one who really care for you, they notice the changes in you. And they say, wow, if this is what Buddhism is about, then it's beneficial to me. That's when they believe. They believe because it's beneficial, not because it's some kind of nice talk, you know, about things that you wish that were true, like God forgives you. Excuse me, yeah, you have proof that really God forgive you? Really? Huh? You really have proof that God listens to your prayers? Huh? Anyway, here we have crazy people. When we pray, we see Wan Yin, we see, you know, we see Buddhas, we see walls opening up, people disappearing and coming out. Okay? That's proof to us. We don't just say we pray and, you know, it's our faith develop is based on facts, on experiences, not just talk. Yes, the spy number 1 is awake now. He says, "Let me speak my piece." Before.
Mô Phật bạch thầy. Thầy nói là những người đệ tử Phật tử của thầy lại tới đây rất là khó dạy, rất là cống cao ngã mạn. Thầy phải có cái lòng từ bi để từ từ độ người ta tới, để độ người ta vô tới cái cửa Phật. Thì cái đó là quả ngăn mong muốn như vậy á. Mô Phật.
Here we go again.
Master, you say that your disciple, the people come to the temple, is very difficult to teach. They are very arrogant. That's why you need to use a lot of kindness and compassion in order to cross them over.
I said that my disciples, my students, non-disciples became more patient. I didn't say I would become more patient. Okay, Q&A.
Emitofuo, Master, I would like to
We can't hear you. Increase the volume. Put it closer to your teeth.
Emitofuo, can you hear me now, Master?
Yeah, better.
I would like to share my story. Spring last year is the first time I went to your temple in Rosemead, and that's when we saw the Buddha relic. And one of the lady over there, I don't remember her face, but she just said, "Hey, don't forget and pray to the monk picture on the other side of the other wall." So when I just listened to her and I went over there, I saw a picture of Master YongHua, and then I have all my family kneel down in front of his picture, and I pray that for our children and our family to be guide us to the right, to Buddha and teaching and so on.
Stop.
And then,
Stop. How it happened, I can add this detail for you. She brought her family to the parlor where we have an image of Master YongHua right there on a small altar. Okay, the whole family there, and she said, just like you find out pretty soon, kneel, bow. So when I first saw her at San Jose, I tried to look kind of in a general direction. I said, some women are very bossy. Sorry, continue.
then just like what you say, whatever you know, whatever you want, you pray to Master YongHua, he will guide you. And then summer of that year, we found your temple in San Jose that we don't even know, and we become your disciple last year. So thank you so much, Master. Yep, we are grateful for you.
Oh, happy ending story. Okay, JMT. You are so talkative. Huh? We're trying to wrap it up, and you keep on asking and asking. Go for it.
네, 저희 아이들 이야기를 좀 더 드리고 싶어서 마이크를 잡았는데요. 절에 와서 저희 아이들이 제일 좋아했던 장소가 법구들이 있는 장소였었어요. 아이들은 북도 치고 소리 나는 악기가 같은 것들을 계속 치면서 놀았고 그러면서 엄청 행복해했는데 저는 불안했지만 스님들이 다 하도록 허용을 해주시고 해서 가만히 있었습니다. 그런데 어제 작은 아이가 무거운 북채를 들고 법구를 치다가 용의 이빨 조각을 살짝 깨트렸어요. 그래서 그것이 저의 잘못인 것 같기도 해서 용서를 이 자리에서 좀 구하고 싶습니다.
Master, I'd like to talk about my children a little bit more. The best place they wanted to hang out is the Dharma instruments area. And I was kind of anxious when they're hanging around there, but the senims allowed them to play the instruments. So what happened yesterday is my youngest child broke the little part of the dragon statue. So I'd like to apologize and take this opportunity.
Yeah, it's $20,000. Oh, you can glue it back. No big deal. Just don't swallow that piece. Okay? No big deal. Nothing that cannot be repaired or bought again. I noticed something. You know, my master's temple, the Dharma talks the lectures are at longest an hour and a half, an hour and 20 minutes. We've been going to we exceeded 2 hours already. So from now on, we should have moderation, because Mahayana is moderation. From now on, because you guys, it doesn't work with you guys anymore. When you see me like going up like this because I can't take it anymore, I say, you know, okay, then you know you better hurry up. Okay, anyone else? Yes, internet. 4. Good Lord.
From Daniel, what is the Dharma ending age? What happens when it ends?
When it ends, we all go to the hells. When it ends, there will be no more Buddha Dharma, and then the demons will have a field day, and they will come and destroy the world. That's when the world will be destroyed very quickly. What happens is the reason that the world is where it is right now is because of us. The fact that, in particular, when we recite the Shrangmama mantra, that keeps the demons in check. We have a lot of skills that we develop in order to keep the demons in check. So that's why the world is temporarily okay with certain pockets where it's fairly safe for you to be, but eventually it's a matter of time. Eventually, the Shrangma mantra will no longer be practiced, and at the time, the demons will surface and will be causing destruction to the world. Okay. Next question. Yes, Orange.
Dạ thưa thầy, con muốn nói về đứa con của con. Cái hồi một tháng trước khi có Covid á, thì cháu nó bị lay off. Con mới có cái ý định là sau vòng 2 tháng thì nó chưa có việc làm. So con mới nghĩ là con sẽ thỉnh cái bài vị oan giải trái chủ cho cháu. Thì cùng cái ngày con có cái ý định làm cái đó, thì con chưa kịp gọi cho sư cô, thì nó được cái offer mà believe or not, offer của nó lại double cái salary của cái hãng cũ mà nó bị lay off. Rồi mới đây 9 tháng sau, nó không có định tìm việc làm, nhưng mà người ta gọi nó thầy. Rồi nó có 4 offer chứ không phải 1. 4 offer đó lại họ compete với nhau. So thằng nhỏ lại được cái salary 1.5 more than the last job. So con really believe in cái oan gia trái chủ và ngài dược sư. Nó có cả hai cái plaque, mà có một cái điều con nghĩ con cố gắng con thay đổi để mà cho con của con nó tin vào Phật pháp. A Di Đà Phật.
Master, I would like to share my experience about my son. So 1 month before the COVID hit, he was laid off. So he stayed home for 2 months without any job. I planned to request a past creditor plaque, but that same day before I called Siko, the nun, my son got a job offer, and the new job offer, they pay him double the salary compared to the previous company. And then 9 months later, my son didn't plan to go back to work. And then he received 4 offers. And these 4 companies, they compete against each other, and then they offer him the salary, which is 1.5 times more than the previous one. So that's why I really believe in the past creditor plaque and the medicine master plaque. I'm trying to improve myself more so that my children can believe more in the Dharma.
Well, thank you for sharing. Don't try to convince them or to believe. It's not necessary. Let them choose for themselves. Don't even ask. Don't even say anything. Okay. Don't say anything unless they ask you. It's okay. We don't need them to. We don't need to sell ourselves to them. Part of the Mahayana practice is we help, and we don't say anything. If they know, fine. They don't know, it's okay too. There's no need to tell them anything. They don't need to believe. We help because we're supposed to help. If they believe or not is secondary. If they have the blessings, they believe themselves. They don't have the blessings, no point in trying to convince them. It's futile. Okay? We just help. Okay? And they let it happen naturally. You are trying too hard. You're too serious. Okay? Same thing goes to at work as well. When you teach children, same thing. Show them the good things and behave accordingly, and let them choose. Let them choose for themselves. Don't try to sell to them, convince them. To me, it's not effective to try to convince people. Kids in general, your children in general, will look to you as a role model, especially look to you as mother as the characteristics they want their wives to have in the future. Okay, and so you just be the best mother, the best role model possible. Okay, keep improving yourself, and that's good enough. Okay, don't try to convince them; it's not necessary. Okay, I really don't believe in convincing people at all. Okay, people are very smart. Especially look at your son. He's so sought after, and he's capable of producing at work. He has his own mind. He will choose the right things. He'll choose what's best for him. We have to respect him enough to do that. Okay, that's part of us. We respectful enough. We respect people enough to allow them to be themselves. All right. Let's go back to the internet.
A statement, a thank you to Master. I think is John from Portland. Thank you, Master. It is great to see Bodhidharma sitting right over your shoulder.
Okay, thank you, John, for the statue. That's from him, by the way. I'm glad to hear that he's still alive. Comment from JMT. Oregon John, yes, we call it Oregon John. Oregon John. No, not Oregon, Oregon.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는
Go ahead, JMT.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 어제 스님께서 말씀해 주신 그 정토에 가셨다는 최강식 씨 동생입니다. 예, 스님 덕분에 저희 오빠가 무사히 정토에 도착했다 그러니까 어떻게 감사 인사를 드려야 될지 잘 모르겠습니다. 정말 고맙습니다, 스님. 그리고 여기 보산성에 계시는 주지 스님과 현안 스님 그리고 모든 대중께 정말 고맙다는 인사를 꼭 드리고 싶습니다. 정말 고맙습니다, 스님.
Master, I'm a younger sister of the gentleman who went to the Pure Land yesterday you mentioned about, the Korean man.
Yes. Hello, sister.
So I heard what you said that my brother already went to Pure Land. I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to appreciate your help. I'd like to thank for all the Sinims in Jewel Mountain Temple and all assembly, and thank for my brother going to Pure Land.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you for thanking us. Yes, internet.
Daniel, yes, there is proof that God forgives and cures. It has cured me of my severe depression when I was young.
Okay, I'm glad that it works for you. But if it works for you, so much the better. I'm a little bit jealous. God never cured me of my depression, but it cured Daniel's depression. So God is not quite fair, you ask me. Just kidding. Okay. Continue. Internet.
Question. This is from Christopher. Master, when we request the medicine Buddha plaque to get a new job and or to treat an illness, and we don't get the desired results, how do we create more blessings to improve the results?
Because the nature of the blessings is multifaceted, multidimensional. If you're not getting what you want, it's because you have more issues that need to be addressed first. Okay? So for example, years ago, someone wanted to get a daughter, a new child, and so he get a 1 year medicine master thing, and then actually 1 month, and he upgraded to a year very quickly because he found out his business prospered. So he said, "Never mind about the daughter. Let's get the money first." So and I thought about it. I said, "Wow, that's funny because daughters are expensive." You see, it's a beautiful thing about the medicine master Buddha is that he is so compassionate. He will address all your needs, one after another. And I really believe that personally because I've seen too many cases the last 15 years where I personally believe, I have no doubt in my mind, that it's helping you in so many ways, and the reason you're not getting what you want yet is because it's not quite high on the list yet in terms of your dire needs. Okay? So that's why you're not seeing it yet. If you have more blessings, you will see it. That's all. All right? Jewel Mountain.
Master, I would like to thank you because my mom started coming to Jewel Mountain Temple a few times now. My mom is basically atheist, but she felt peace and bliss when she came to see the reciting the Buddha's name. So she's here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, Mom. People is something that we're glad to have you. It's real simple. This is one thing about the Koreans that I like. It's very clear to me is that they go by feel. Okay, and they're very sensitive. They come to us and they know that we have the strength, the mental strength, so that we calmer We are more concentrated. We're more focused than most other places. Okay, so the Koreans are very smart. Okay, they pick it up very quickly, whereas the typical people who come to temples nowadays, they expect to be cajoled, they expect to be kissed up to, otherwise they go somewhere else where they will be. Okay, so that's what happens to the temples nowadays. You go to temples and people, because of competition, they really don't have anything else to offer you except personal attention to you. It's not our approach. Our approach is that we're here as an oasis for you to find some peace and bliss, and your children will notice it first, and then eventually you adults will find out that you feel better when you're here. The longer you stay, you feel the more energized you feel, the more relaxed you become, and so forth. That's eventually you will sense it, and so that's what I see a lot in Korea. Whereas in Southern California, we're very tough. Down here, we are the mecca of plastic surgery and fake nails and expensive hairdos. So we are attached to external things. And so people are very insensitive down here. And for you to come, for us to be able to build this kind of small group of people who are steady, who come to the temple regularly like this, speaks highly of you. You are very special. Ching! And and the Koreans too. They're the high proportion, a very high proportion of the Koreans are like that. I noticed that. That's how I really like it when I go over there. Okay, but the reason that in this case here that her mother comes here because she likes to hang out with the daughter. Let's face it, it's not about the temple. Ask her. Okay? He says, she doesn't come and see me at all. Okay? And now she's, the more I see her, the more I like to be with her. So that's your best sales tool right there. Become a better person. And you don't need to convince people of anything. They will find out for themselves, just like your children. Okay? You expose your children to the kindness of the people around them. That creates a standard in their mind. They said, this is what people are supposed to be in the back of the mind. Okay? And so I was never given that, by the way. My entire life is about where I came from, my family, is that we have to be successful. If you're not successful, then you're a disappointment to the family. You have to have good grades in school, you have to go to a good school, your wife has to be pretty, you have to have a good education, you have to have a good job, you have to be, successful at your job, and all this. It's all about success. It's all nonsense. But we never learn how to be a human being, a decent human being, a good brother, a good father, a good neighbor. Okay. All right. Anything else? Is that it? Are we tired? Any more questions? No more? Oh, thank you, Lord. My prayers are answered. All right. Thank you, everyone. We see you next time. Tonight, now we stand up and do the great transference. Yes.